Hi and welcome to the tool section of the workshop. So in this video I'm going to show you the basic tools that we need, the tools that you would need to get started with, and then the tools that you can buy as you grow in your craft. So in front of me at the moment is lying a Merc Art tool bag. This is a tool bag that I bought for myself a couple of years ago, and they are absolutely brilliant tools to work with, high quality tools, but you do not need all of these tools in this bag to start with. If I look at the tools that you need to start with and the three tools that I basically do complete projects with, it will be my 0.5mm ball tool. You buy these metal ball tools in set of 3, but the one that I use the most is a 0.5mm ball tool on the one side. It's just got a little ball. It is normally not bent like that. It is normally straight, but I like to apply a little bend. It gives me a bit more freedom with the way that I use the tool. So it's just a tiny little bit of a bend that I put into the tool. On the other side, there's a 1mm ball tool, which I use for defining a lot. So this tool is the one that I use in all of my projects. It is one of the basic ones that you definitely need to buy to get started with. Secondly, you need a paper stump. The paper stumps are also quite cheap. They come in either a set of 3 or in a set of 6, ranging from a size of 1 to 6. I believe this is size 6. This is the bigger one in the packet. And I like this one because it's got nice long edge, which I use for flattening from the front. And then I keep one side nice, soft, round tip, which I use for adding depth from behind. So this is also a definite must, and it's not an expensive item. The next one that you need is a skew tip Teflon tool. They come in various manufacturers. This one comes from Russia. I prefer this one. It's just a high quality Teflon tool, but you also get a similar one from Merc Art that works very well. I just prefer this one. It's got a nice grip to it, and it is just a very nice tool. So they are from Russia, and they also are from a lady in South Africa. She imports them, and I'll put her details in the supply sheet at the end of the video. This is a definite must for you to buy in the beginning. These 3 tools are the tools that I use when doing most of my projects. After these 3 tools, optional is a sharp tip Teflon tool. The one that I have here is from Walnut. It's the one with the interchangeable little heads that you can add and remove. And I do quite like their sharp tip tool. But if you can't find this one, Merc Art also has one that is very nice. And then there's one from the same company that makes this one. It's just not as thin as that one, so I don't prefer it. So, but that's also an option. After that, you need a cutter. So this is what we use for cutting our pewter out of our design. If we're not going to use like a normal square, if we need to do filigree work, it is called a dry point needle. So this is a 1.5mm point, and it is very sharp. Not as sharp as a normal sewing needle, but it is fairly sharp. And I do often sharpen this back up just using my husband's normal grinding tool, because it does get blunt the more you use it. This you should find in most of your local art shops, but if you do not find them, you can get them online, and you can get them from Merc Art. After that, you need basic tools that you can find in any shop. A scissor for cutting your material, a ballpoint pen, preferably in red or blue. It's just easier to see where you have traced your design on any black printed designs, some brushes to apply your patina and your alcohol inks or your acrylic paints. I like using a glass dropper. This is a medicine glass dropper for applying my beeswax when I do my filling. And then a metal ruler. It doesn't need to be metal, but I do prefer the metal because it's got a nice thin edge. So these are my bare basic minimum tools that I work with. They are constantly on my table and I can complete any project using these couple of tools. Besides these tools, you do get the fancier tools. And I am a tool-aholic, if I can call it that. I like gathering tools. I like buying different tools, testing them out, and I don't use half of the tools that I have in my pocket. So in this bag from Mercard you get a rubber wheel, which is a Teflon wheel that you use for flattening your pewter. You get various sizes of paper stumps. You get a brittle brush, a metal brush for applying some texture to your pewter. You get a whole range of different texture wheels in different sizes and thicknesses. And then you get your different ball tools and ball and cup tools, and they've got nice fancy half circle tools. And then you get your Teflon range, which is the sharp tip, the claw tool, which is flat on the one side, and then you get them in small and bigger sizes. And then you get fancy star tools that you can use. So these are your really fancy tools, and I hardly ever use them. I would use them in projects that have specific need for them. So this is not a must to start off with. It is something that is nice to have. I have also bought some nice tools from a guy in Peru, which they make these bigger Teflon tools, which is basically the same tool as the smaller skew tip Teflon tool that I showed you. It is just bigger. So if I do some of my bigger pieces, I like using the bigger skew tip tool as well. So starting with the basic tools that I just showed you, you can do basically any piece of pewter embossing, and then later on, if you can afford it, move on to the bigger Merc Art set. But like I said, this is not a must-have.